Yeah,
It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Thompson Sales, Kitchen Lane USA, Advanced Car Care Center, and Smouse Brothers Foundation Repair. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey there, good morning to you on Monday. Hope your weekend was fantastic. It was certainly warm for mid-October, but that's where we are. So we're going to get started with some news as we start the work week.
Okay, Greene County is investigating the deaths of 2 people found inside a house. Deputies did a well-being check yesterday afternoon on Spring Lawn Avenue. That's near Glenstone, north of I-44. And sure enough, 2 people were found inside the house dead. That investigation is underway. Sad story. College student from Alton, Missouri was found dead in Europe. Gunnar Kennedy was hiking in the mountains of Slovenia when he disappeared last week. During a search, his body was found at the bottom of a ravine. Authorities say they think he just slipped and fell during a storm. He was in Europe to study abroad in Spain.
Wow, awful. A former youth basketball coach in Springfield sentenced now to 4 life sentences for sexually abusing girls on his teams. 56-year-old Antoine Looney abused at least 5 girls who played for him, at least one of them for several years, from 1995 to 2012. The abuse survivors testified against him during his trial and the sentencing phase. His own children also testified against him, his son calling him a monster. The city of Ozark wants to build a new police station. The city has grown a lot and has been in its current space, 6,000 square feet since 2005. They want to turn that into about 30,000 square feet. The Board of Aldermen said it's time to do that. So the city is now looking for a site and a design for the new building. The board voted 4-2 to allow a 1/4-cent sales tax to fund that project. And once it gets going, it could be completed within 3 years. So
it's interesting because if you think about 6,000 square feet for a city the size of Ozark, also, I think that they said about 20% of that is used for like a evidence room. So that's actually seems small to me for that, because Ozark is always one of the fastest growing places, Ozark.
What, 20 to 25,000 people living there?
Yeah.
Roughly. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Rescue One Animal Clinic will be able to continue doing its good work for restoring rescued animals back to health. A new veterinarian has stepped up and into that role as the new medical director. The current one will be retiring or leaving soon. Rescue One is now going to be partnering with the Animal Clinic of Ava and its 4 veterinarians to help them continue their mission. 1 week from today, the Missouri State Auditor will start an audit of Shannon County. This after some concerns by county residents and some of the officials there. If you live in Shannon County and you have a concern about something specific that would be of interest to the auditor, you can submit a tip to the auditor's office. Hunting and fishing permits are going to cost you more. We told you this was upcoming, but now that we're getting closer to hunting season, the Conservation Department says the extra money will go back into conservation. Also, just the cost of everything is kind of up right now. So here we are. Non-residents from the website, it looks like is going to have the biggest jump. I was looking at some of the prices, and it seems like if you're a non-resident, you will feel it the most. Missouri residents will basically pay $1 or $2 more, depending on what type of permit you're going for. Last year, those permit sales brought in $43.5 million for conservation.
Okay. All right. Well, there's a weekend full of sports. The biggest game to be played in Columbia in 46 years happened on Saturday. 2 top 15 teams facing off as Alabama visited the University of Missouri. The Tigers have not beaten the Crimson Tide since 1975, and that didn't change. In a close game, though, Alabama got the win, 27-24. Very good game. Missouri dropped 2 spots as a result in the AP Top 25 poll to land this week at number 16 in the land. And they play at unranked Auburn on Saturday.
I was so hoping Mizzou could pull that off. I mean, I'm not necessarily like a huge Mizzou fan, but I'm not a fan. And since they're a state school, I was very hopeful. Big game and so close.
Well, they had a fighting chance. They threw a pick right at the end there, and that sealed the deal for Alabama. But a good crowd and football. I tell you, it's interesting what's happened in college football is that like Indiana is a basketball school. Nobody knows Indiana. They're ranked 3 in the country right now. Illinois. I'm a fan of Illinois, so I'm not a huge fan of Missouri, but I am a fan of Illinois. And they lost this weekend again, but they were in the top 25. It's weird seeing these teams that are not traditionally teams that even Missouri is not normally a top 25 football team, but here they are. So it's interesting how I guess NIL and all that stuff has changed the sports aspect of college and
yes,
in the top 25. Arkansas used to be, not anymore. The Hogs played host to the number 12 ranked Tennessee Volunteers and got whooped. It was the first game with former head coach for the Hogs, former head coach Bobby Petrino, back as interim head coach now. Arkansas ended up making it close. The score was better than the game, 34-31. And the Missouri State Bears did not play over the weekend because they just played last Wednesday. They're on this Wednesday schedule thing. So they will not play this week at all. And then the following Wednesday, they will play at New Mexico State. That'll be Wednesday, October 22nd. So 9 days from now, the Bears have some time off to get ready for New Mexico State. So there you go.
Okay. And speaking of football, we still have our contest going on. It's a fun one. So we want to let you know about 2 tickets going out for free to some Around the Ozarks listeners to watch the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Colts. That's happening on November 23rd at Arrowhead. So the game day is November 23rd, but we're giving away tickets right now this week to the lucky person who wins the contest. All you have to do is go to aroundtheozarks.com, click on the word contest, and you will have to submit a picture of yourself in your Chiefs gear somewhere around the Ozarks. So upload that at aroundtheozarks.com, and that will enter you into the drawing to win. And if you win, we will let you know.
Yes, we will.
It's going to be really great. All of this is part of our Ozarks Kingdom Country, sponsored by Sigwo Arms. So thanks to Sigwo for sponsoring this really cool giveaway that we've been able to do this whole season long.
Yeah, they're great contests at aroundtheozarks.com. Also, a lot of fall festivals happening, so you can check out aroundtheozarks.com. And Sarah mentioned our sponsors. We are very grateful for our sponsors, the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Thompson Sales, Kitchenland USA, Advanced Car Care Center, and Smouse Brothers. They allow us to do what we do and bring you the news each weekday morning. So we're grateful to them. Make sure you get out there. And if you have a need that they can service, take advantage of them.
Yeah, no doubt. And Sigwo Arms, too. They are the ones who help us give away the Chiefs tickets for free. So we are super thankful. We are here because of their belief in Around the Ozarks news. So couldn't do it without them. All right. Anything else, sir?
That'll do it. We hope you have a fantastic week. And we'll be back here tomorrow morning, bright and early. Right. See you.
See you then.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, brought to you by Command Family Medicine, Heating and Air Paramedics, The Trailer Ranch, Hewitt Messenger, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Conditions across the Ozarks this morning are starting out quite nice. A little bit of sprinkle activity on the radar this morning with temperatures in the low 60s. And because of the additional cloud cover in the forecast today and the chance for a few very light rain showers in our western counties, we will see temperatures only top out in the 70s in many locations. Overall, it is going to be a pleasant day with plenty of cloud cover around. I am expecting that it's going to be overall a dry day for most in the Ozarks. The rain chance, it's scattered at best, and I think most folks will stay dry through the course of the day today. Conditions, though, are going to warm up again as we move into later this week. It has been a warm October so far, and this week is no exception. Today, in fact, one of the cooler days in my 7-day forecast. We are going to see the 80s return pretty easily this week. Western Missouri could see some of those light rain showers today, as I mentioned. Otherwise, I think it's just a mix of clouds across the forecast on this Monday. For those of you off today for the Columbus Day holiday, well, enjoy it. We'll have a south breeze that's fairly calm through the afternoon, and I do expect that conditions are going to stay pretty tranquil for the second half of the day as well. There is a stationary boundary kind of draped across northern Missouri, stretching all the way back through parts of Kansas, even into Oklahoma, Texas, and the New Mexico area, and some rainfall associated with that system. That's what may sneak into some of our far western counties later today. Other than that, we've got above normal temperatures and a dry stretch of weather ahead. It seems like I say that every single week, and I'm also talking about drought conditions every single week. Well, we continue to see those drought conditions worsen, so we want the rain chances in the forecast. If you get the sprinkles today, consider it a good thing. It's still not going to be enough to do anything for the drought conditions. I'm really expecting rainfall amounts to be limited. Maybe a trace in the rain gauge. You would be lucky to see 1/10 of an inch of rain out of this. It is not going to be the nice soaking rainfall that a lot of us desperately need at this point. We will see this dry stretch of weather continue in the extended forecast. In fact, I've got us back into the 80s tomorrow. Everybody's in the mid-80s and maybe even mid-80s for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This is going to be a period of below normal precipitation in most of the region. Over the last month, we had a few dry spells and above normal temperatures. This is really increasing the risk of fires and the early onset of fall fire season in the Ozarks. So something to think about with the abnormally dry ground that we have this year. Once the leaves start to fall, becomes fire season in the Ozarks, and all of this could make it a bit worse. All right, around the country, what's making headlines? The East Coast, up and down it. We have dangerous rip currents and coastal winds for much of the East Coast again today. That was also the case over the weekend. Heavy rain and a flood risk remains in the Southwest. Remnants of what was Hurricane Priscilla continuing to bring remnants of rainfall for the Four Corners region, leading to flooding and waterlogged conditions there. We also have heavy rain for parts of the lower elevations of California, while heavy snow is likely in the forecast for the Sierra Mountain Range. So there's a lot going on the West Coast. And of course, the East Coast has some dangers as well with some of those rip currents that I mentioned. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question for the day. And the question that I left with you Friday was this. In traditional European folklore, what plant was commonly hung over doorways to ward off witches and evil spirits? Do you think it was A, rosemary, B, garlic, C, wolfsbane, or D, sage? And above the doorway, that would be B, garlic. Hanging garlic over a door is a practice rooted in folklore and superstition, where it's believed to have protected properties against evil spirits and the evil eye. This tradition is found in various cultures, including the Greek and Albanian, and is thought to bring good luck and spiritual protection, especially for newborns. So congrats if B, garlic was your answer. Here's another question for you. In Bram Stoker's 1897 novel, Dracula, what substance is not traditionally used to ward off vampires? Do you think it is A, garlic, B, holy water, C, a crucifix, or D, silver? Which one not used to ward off vampires? Let me know your guess. You can do that at the website. That's aroundtheozarks.com. Big shout out to all of our sponsors: Command Family Medicine, Heating and Air Paramedics, The Trailer Ranch, Hewitt Messenger, Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet, and I sure appreciate you listening early this morning. Thanks so much. I'll chat again with you early tomorrow.